Ilara had always preferred the back row, not because she was shy or weak, but because it gave her a clear view of everything happening around her. From that seat, she could watch her classmates, the movements of the instructors, and the way the room changed when different species of students came together. The Galactic Academy of Strategy and Combat was no ordinary school. It was a place where the best minds and fighters from across the galaxy trained, and Ilara, human among aliens, had always been underestimated. Humans were considered clever, adaptable, and resourceful. But in a room full of physically stronger or more aggressive species, they often didn't get the respect they deserved. Ilara knew this. She had grown up hearing that humans were fragile, unpredictable, or primitive. That only made her more determined. Quietly observing, calculating, planning. This was her way to survive and, when needed, to win. The classroom smelled faintly of metal and ozone. Walls lined with holographic screens displayed diagrams of alien starships, tactical formations, and battlefield maps. In the center, Commander Vraxis stood, his tall frame and shimmering scales catching the light. He was a Morvian, a species known for their combat instincts and near-impossible reflexes. Most students feared him. Many of his lectures included lessons in hand-to-hand combat, strategy, and survival skills. But there was always an underlying test, a subtle challenge to see who could keep up. Ilara did not flinch. She watched Vraxis as he moved, noticing the subtle twitches in his clawed hands, the shift in his weight before he spoke. Humans had a saying, "Watch the hands, see the intent." It seemed to apply across species, too. "Today," Vraxis said, his voice low and rumbling, "we will focus on reaction under pressure. You will need to think, move, and act faster than the unexpected. Only those who can adapt survive," the students murmured nervously. Many of them had seen simulations before, but there was something in the way Vraxis's eyes glinted that felt different today. Ilara tilted her head slightly, scanning the room. Every eye, every tail, every subtle movement was data she absorbed. The first exercise was simple. Vraxis clapped his clawed hands and holographic drones appeared, floating in precise formations. The students were to defend themselves and neutralize the drones using both tactics and their personal skills. Ilara had already studied the drones' designs in previous lessons. They were small, agile, but predictable if one watched carefully. Her classmates moved quickly. A Noran, tall and strong with muscular limbs, lunged at a drone and missed. A Zeltran with 6 agile arms attacked multiple drones at once, but 2 slipped past. Ilara stayed seated, calm, waiting. She knew the pattern. Humans were slower, she had been told often. But their brains worked differently. They could see patterns and think ahead. When the first drone moved in a predictable arc, Ilara leaned slightly, her reflexes honed from years of practice. She tapped the activation pad on her wrist, releasing a small energy pulse. The drone flickered and vanished. Another followed, then another. Each time she anticipated the drone's trajectory before they moved. By the time her classmates had neutralized half the drones, she had already eliminated hers. Quietly, efficiently. Vraxis observed, his sharp eyes narrowing. "Interesting," he muttered. "Human, you rely on observation rather than raw force." Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Humans could be underestimated, but it was their greatest strength. While others relied on speed, strength, or natural ability, humans could analyze, adapt, and create solutions in the moment. That was why she was still alive, still untested by real danger, while many of her classmates stumbled. After the exercise, students were called forward one by one for critique. Ilara stayed in her seat. Vraxis' gaze swept the room, lingering on her longer than she expected. "Human," he said finally, "come forward." She rose calmly. Every eye in the room followed her. Some were curious, others skeptical. She walked to the front, her posture straight, confident, though her heart beat slightly faster. Humans rarely impressed Morvians in physical matters, but perhaps they underestimated the quiet ones. "Your methods are efficient," Vraxis said, "but efficiency is not enough in the field. Sometimes speed and aggression are necessary. Can you adapt when the situation changes instantly?" Ilara inclined her head slightly. "Yes, sir," she said, her voice steady. "Very well," Vraxis replied. "We shall see." He stepped back, his claws tapping against the floor, and for a moment the classroom was silent. Then, without warning, he moved. Fast. Too fast. Ilara reacted instinctively. She ducked, rolled to the side, and avoided his first strike. It was not a simulation anymore. His eyes burned with intent. The other students froze. Many had no idea what was happening. Some tried to move but found themselves unprepared for the real aggression. The air was thick with tension. Vraxis struck again, precise, deadly, testing every student's reflex. Panic spread, but Alara stayed calm. She saw patterns in his strikes, an almost imperceptible rhythm, a tendency to favor certain angles. Humans could read sequences, and Alara did so with remarkable speed. She moved between classmates, shouting instructions, guiding them. "Step back. Take cover. Use the walls." Her voice was calm but commanding. Slowly, she helped others avoid direct hits. The chaos revealed weaknesses in the classroom. Energy panels along the walls could be activated as barriers. Chairs could be moved to slow attacks. Every small detail mattered, and Alara noticed it all. Vraxis seemed to enjoy the challenge. "Human," he said, his voice rumbling through the room. "You are different?" "Yes, sir," Alara replied. "I am human. We survive by thinking, not just by striking." One by one, she guided her classmates to safety, combining quick tactical decisions with her knowledge of the room. They began to move like a unit under her quiet leadership, and slowly the tide began to turn. Where panic had ruled, strategy now took hold. Finally, the instructor paused. He studied her, a faint smile crossing his alien features. "Perhaps humans are not to be dismissed so easily," he said. The room was quiet. Some students were bruised, some shaken, but all were alive. Alara returned to her back row, sitting down, calm as ever. Her classmates looked at her with newfound respect, some with awe. She did not smile. She simply observed. Quietly. Calculating. Watching. Because this was only the beginning. Somewhere in the depths of the academy, beyond classrooms and training halls, real danger waited, and Alara knew that the true tests were yet to come. But for now, she had proven something. Even in a galaxy full of stronger, faster, and more aggressive species, humans had their place. And when underestimated, they could become unstoppable. Her mind raced with possibilities. If the instructor could attack like this in the middle of a lesson, what else could happen? Who was truly a threat, and how could humans not just survive but shape the galaxy itself? Ilara's quiet presence in the back row, once overlooked, had begun to matter. And soon, very soon, it would matter more than anyone imagined. She leaned back, arms crossed, eyes scanning the room. The other students were still shaking off fear. The instructors whispered to one another, and somewhere beyond the academy's walls, a galactic web of intrigue and danger was beginning to tighten. Alara did not flinch. She never did. She had learned long ago that survival depended on more than strength. It depended on the mind, and the human mind, she knew, was capable of extraordinary things. The quiet observer had shown the first sign of human brilliance. And the galaxy was about to notice. The classroom was still buzzing with tension. Students whispered among themselves, their eyes darting to Alara, who remained quietly in the back row. Her calm demeanor unsettled many. They expected fear, panic, hesitation. What they did not expect was poise, confidence, and control. Commander Vraxis had stepped back after his sudden assault, but the room felt charged, electric, as though the very walls anticipated something more. Ilara's instincts told her this was not an ordinary test. Something was wrong, far beyond classroom training exercises. She watched her classmates. Some were visibly shaken, clutching their energy pads, bruised from dodged blows. Others fidgeted nervously, unsure what to do next. A few whispered that the instructor's attack might have been a genuine attempt to harm them. Alara's mind raced through the possibilities. Humans were not naturally strong compared to many alien species, but they had a gift, ingenuity under pressure. And right now, ingenuity would be the key to survival. Vraxis stood in the front of the room, his arms crossed, eyes scanning the students like a predator sizing up prey. "Humans are curious," he said, his deep voice echoing, "able to adapt, able to think. Perhaps you will prove worthy." Ilara remained silent. She had no desire to speak, to draw attention. Observation was her strength. She watched the small flickers of movement around the room, shadows shifting, panels vibrating, minor noises that indicated the presence of something unseen. That's when she noticed it, a faint hum beneath the floor. A vibration too subtle for most, but her senses, honed by years of careful observation, detected it. Something was hidden beneath the academy. Her heart quickened, not with fear, but with anticipation. Humans could think fast, and humans could act faster. She leaned slightly to one side, pretending to adjust her seat while scanning the floor. Tiny openings along the baseboards glowed faintly, revealing the presence of energy conduits running beneath the room. Whoever had designed this building had hidden something dangerous. Before she could analyze further, Vraxis clapped his hands. Simulation over, or reality just beginning? Students froze. The line between a lesson and a real threat had blurred, and then from the floor panels, small mechanized drones began emerging. Unlike the holographic ones from the first exercise, these were real, metallic, armed with small energy emitters capable of cutting through alloy and armor. They moved in formation, silent and precise. Ilara's mind raced. This is not a simulation, she muttered quietly to herself. Other students panicked, screaming and running in all directions. Many tried to fight, but they had little knowledge of these machines' speed or pattern. The drones split into groups, circling and isolating targets. Panic spread quickly. Fear weakened even the strongest species. But not Ilara. She moved, not in haste, not blindly, but carefully, guiding herself and the nearest students to cover behind overturned desks and energy barriers. She shouted instructions. Watch the left flank. Move together. Don't separate. Her voice was steady, commanding, and her classmates listened, some reluctantly. For the first time, they realized this human was not just a quiet observer. She was a strategist, calculating the battlefield in real time. The drones attacked in waves, small bursts of energy slicing the air. Ilara noticed patterns. The machines moved in predictable sequences, repeating every 3 seconds. Using this, she instructed students to time their movements precisely. They dodged, rolled, and countered, slowly turning chaos into coordinated defense. One of the Zeltrans, a 6-armed alien named Triven, sneered. Why are we following a human? He snapped. Ilara didn't answer. Instead, she pointed to an unstable conduit above their heads. Triven, aim your pulse emitter there, now. The Zeltran hesitated, then followed. His shot hit the conduit, releasing a spark that short-circuited a group of drones. The others froze for a moment, confused by the unexpected attack. Ilara seized the opportunity. Push forward. Use the walls as cover, move as one. Step by step, they advanced. Slowly, the humans and their allies forced the drones back, combining human ingenuity with alien strength. Ilara moved with precision, calculating angles, energy outputs, and timing. She noticed that Vraxis had not engaged the drones directly. Instead, he was observing, testing. But something told her he was not entirely in control of the situation. Humans are interesting, he muttered again, almost to himself. They learn quickly. Ilara realized he might not be the only threat. Someone or something had deployed these drones, and if the instructor himself was testing them, then the real danger could be far beyond the classroom. Her instincts screamed that escape was vital. She led a small group through a side corridor, noticing that the walls themselves contained hidden panels. With careful taps and pushes, she revealed emergency passageways. They were narrow, claustrophobic, but safe. For now. The corridor led to an observation deck overlooking the Academy's central control hub. From here, she could see the larger structure. It was massive, layered with hidden systems, some glowing faintly with unknown energy. She realized this academy was not only a school, it was a fortress, a laboratory, and a potential battlefield. We need to find the source of these drones, she said, her voice low but firm. They are being controlled. If we stop the controller, we stop the attack. The others nodded, though fear lingered in their eyes. Humans, she knew, were often underestimated, not just for their physical abilities, but also for their resilience under pressure. And right now, resilience mattered more than brute force. They moved quietly, sticking to shadows, avoiding patrol drones and observation systems. Ilara's mind calculated every move, every risk. She thought about how humans could improvise, turning ordinary tools into weapons, finding solutions no alien would consider. She quietly instructed others to prepare improvised traps using nearby equipment, combining human ingenuity with alien technology. Finally, they reached the central hub. The room was enormous, filled with holographic displays, energy conduits, and control panels. In the center sat a humanoid figure operating a complex console. The figure wore a hood and mask, concealing identity, but Alara sensed intelligence and precision behind every movement. "The controller," she whispered. She observed patterns, calculating timing. The drones outside were linked to this central system. She noted weaknesses in the energy flow, small gaps where a well-placed pulse could disrupt the connection. Using hand signals, she guided Triven and a few others to attack simultaneously. A coordinated strike designed to confuse and disable the drones. The plan worked. Pulses hit the conduits, sparking and short-circuiting several drones instantly. Some fell to the ground harmlessly. Others ceased movement mid-air. The controller's hands moved frantically, trying to re-establish connection, but the system was damaged. Alara stepped forward, ready to confront the figure directly. She did not fear them. Humans had a strange courage. They could face overwhelming odds because they relied on wit, planning, and unpredictability. The figure looked up, revealing a pair of piercing eyes. "So humans are clever," they said. Their voice was mechanical, distorted yet calm. "Perhaps too clever." Alara didn't flinch. "We adapt," she said simply. "We survive, and we protect those who cannot protect themselves." For a moment, silence filled the room. Then alarms blared. Reinforcements were incoming. The controller's voice hardened. "You should not have interfered." Alara's mind raced. Humans could improvise. Humans could take risks others would not dare. And humans could fight, not just with strength, but with intelligence. She scanned the room, noting exits, conduits, and panels. "Everyone, follow me," she ordered. "We go fast, we go smart, we go together." Step by step they moved, dodging energy blasts, using improvised shields, and navigating the maze-like corridors. Alara's calm, observant nature guided them. The humans and their alien allies moved like a single organism, adapting, reacting, surviving. By the time they reached a secure area, the controller had vanished, leaving behind a trail of damaged systems and chaos. The students were exhausted, bruised, and shaken, but alive. And Alara, quietly sitting once again at the back of the room, knew this was only the beginning. The attack had revealed something important. Humans, though underestimated, had a power others could not see. Intelligence, adaptability, and courage under pressure could turn the tide against overwhelming threats. And Alara, the quiet observer, had proven that humans could lead, not through raw strength but through thought, strategy, and heart. The academy would never be the same, and somewhere, deep in the shadows, forces beyond the classroom were watching. They had underestimated the humans, and they would soon learn the hard way that humans were not to be overlooked. Alara leaned back, arms crossed, eyes scanning the now quiet room. The other students looked at her, awe and fear mingling in their expressions. She said nothing. She did not need to. Humans survived because they thought. Humans survived because they adapted. Humans survived because even when outmatched, they refused to give up. And Alara, sitting quietly in the back row, had just reminded everyone of that simple, undeniable truth.